Deepak, you say that uncertainty is one of the driving forces of people's stress and anxiety. But right now, it feels like, to me, and I think everybody I speak with, uncertainty is almost all we have. Financial uncertainty, our health, nothing feels stable. How do we balance that?
First of all, I think it's very important to realize that all existence is unpredictable. So when we surrender to uncertainty, we actually open the door to our spirit. Our mind is addicted to certainty, and that's what's causing the panic right now. Because there's a COVID pandemic, there's a stress pandemic, there's a financial pandemic, and they're all entangled. One is not without the other. The financial crisis and the COVID crisis and the stress crisis are the same crisis. Now, what we're ignoring right now is the stress crisis. And all the data is showing that when people are stressed, their immune system gets compromised, they get inflammation in the body, they secrete cortisol, which is a hormone that wreaks havoc on the immune system, creates something called inflammatory storms. These are now being identified in people who are really getting sick. Inflammatory storms in the body, they're called cytokine storms. We are doing research on this. What we are finding is all the people who are getting really sick are the ones who have acute inflammation in addition to chronic inflammation. And all the research shows that if you do mindfulness meditation, if you do deep breathing, if you do a little bit of exercise, if you connect emotionally with people that you care about, if you watch your diet, if you sleep well, then you can minimize the likelihood of the cytokine storm and reduce your likelihood of getting really sick, even if you have the infection.
Well, so much of this is an emotional roller coaster to what you're pointing in some of the research of people who are getting sick. It's one day you are happy, one day it sinks down, or you feel grateful because you remind yourself of gratitude, and then you are worried about losing your job. I get a lot of sleep one day because you feel melancholy, and then the next day you can't sleep at all and you're up all night wringing your hands. So it's this emotional up and down roller coaster that it seems connected to, again, no structure. And is it up to us to try to establish that structure, whether it's through meditation and finding our center?
Yes, it's up to us. You can't depend on anyone else to find that structure. So you need to focus on, even when you're under quarantine and you're physically distanced, you need to focus on emotional intimacy with yourself, with your loved ones, with your family and friends, by giving them attention, which means listening to them, appreciation, noticing the gift they are in your life, affection, letting them know that you care and love them and you're there for them, and attention, as I said, and acceptance. Don't try to change things that you can't. You cannot change certain things right now. First thing is to be grateful that you exist, period. And if you're grateful just for that fundamental fact that you exist, then hostility and grief take on a different trajectory. Grief goes through first victimization. Why me? Why me? But it's not just me, it's everyone.
Well, to your point, Deepak, where you talk about, being grateful for existence, we greet each other, how are you? And there are people who feel guilty saying, well, I'm good. Clearly, we're not good, but we are at least amongst those able to have our health if we are healthy, or we're able to try to stay strong for our family members, that it's okay to try to balance all of this out. You said in your op-ed recently, there's an opportunity to find meaning in this pandemic. What does that mean?
Okay, so I was going through the stages of grief: victimization, anger, hostility, frustration, helplessness, resignation, and finally acceptance. When you accept, there's peace. And once you accept and you have peace, then you find meaning. And right now is the time to find meaning. Who am I beyond this body and mind and world experience? Do I have a soul? Does God exist? What is the meaning of death? What do I really want in my life? What is my purpose right now? And what am I grateful for? If you just ask those questions, you will see, you will have insight.